Episode 113, Trademark Your Digital AI Twin.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Have you ever thought about trademarking your own digital twin? Well, Katie Price just did it. Yes, the Jordan of tabloid fame is now an AI avatar, 3D rendered, voice trained, and ready to chat. Today, I'm diving into what it means when celebrities, or indeed anyone, start cloning their younger or human selves and licensing them. Hello and welcome back to the AI6 podcast, where I teach you AI in just 6 minutes a day. Perhaps one day AIJ will be delivering this podcast, but for now it's me, Joanne Sweeney, in all my human form. So the news broke in the last couple of days that Katie Price, the British reality star and tabloid icon, has created a 3D digital version of her alter ego Jordan, powered by AI. The Sun newspaper is reporting that she has trained the model using 30 voice phrases and likeness permissions. Her AI twin can interact with fans, star in content, and even give interviews. And it's not just a gimmick, she's reportedly signed a 6-figure licensing deal. Now, I've spoken about your digital legacy before on this show, but actually in the context of after you die. This is something that potentially we will see more of, where people are creating their digital twin when they're alive, but also it means that they will be immortalized after they leave this world. And my question is, will it go beyond celebrity brands? I mean, Jordan was a cultural moment. I grew up in 90s Ireland, and she was definitely getting all the media attention and probably one of the early influencers of my teenage years. Then we've got personal branding meets tech. This is an opportunity to scale personal branding, but also to commercialize you in the AI age. So she's selling a version of herself, and she can appear in content, in media interviews, when she is actually herself doing something else. Of course, there's always ethical conversations, deep fake versus consent. Now she has signed off and licensed her own digital twin, but the technology is open source and so widely available that there's nothing stopping somebody with the know-how from owning or cloning her AI digital twin. Obviously, because she's trademarked it, there would be a licensing infringement. But by now, my friends, we know that people who are not in the business of AI for good don't really care about legal contracts. Then, of course, it's bringing us a little bit of cultural nostalgia. We know that nostalgia flies online, and the Jordan of the 2000s versus the Jordan of the AI age. This will be interesting. And then, of course, as I spoke about on the last episode of this show, emotional AI. What happens from a fan's perspective and us as humans becoming, I don't know, intrigued, but even more than that, potentially obsessed with AI versions of real people. I mean, we already know that people are using ChatGPT for emotional consolation and emotional support. So what do you think? Would you pay to chat with a celebrity AI twin? As a brand, would you pay them to appear in your content? Do you think it's a step too far? Should we be allowed to make digital twin versions of ourselves? What should be the guardrails? And what would your AI twin say? If you had to give yourself 30 phrases, what would they be? So I mentioned at the top of the show that Jordan has trademarked her AI Jordan alter ego. And in doing so, she's obviously then allowing and protecting herself in a commercial sense. And I would imagine that was her objective. So you can look into trademarking your digital twin, conducting a trademark search. Obviously, you'd have to identify distinctive elements that your AI twin has. You've got to prepare an application. You will need some legal advice and then submit it to the relevant offices, whether in your own jurisdiction or in the EU or further afield. Obviously, there are some legal considerations around licensing and trademarking a digital twin. The laws are quite, I would say, nascent when it comes to this, so they might evolve as more people step into this domain, let's say. Obviously, I am really curious about this. We're in 2025. It's over 20 years on from Jordan's peak in her media career. I definitely will be watching this one with interest. So let me know what you think. Is this another AI step too far? Let's have a chat. That's all from me for today on this episode of AI 6. I will talk to you tomorrow.